Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Wednesday. It's September 11th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And real quickly, I'm going to move through this fast. It's one of those days. I just having one of those days where things just aren't going right for me. I've already done this chart lesson once. It's a pretty long chart lesson because it was a crazy day, and got done. There was absolutely no audio, and it seems like my headphones were dead, and usually it'll give you a beep if the batteries are low. I just turned it on and didn't pay any attention. Went right in my rush to get the video done, and no audio. The battery was dead as a doornail, so I didn't. It was so dead I didn't get a beep letting me know. But anyway, I apologize. I'm going to do the best I can, but I'm going to move through this thing quickly. As you can see, a very crazy day on the weekly chart. I mean, we had a very bearish day. It looked like we were going lower, and this thing reversed on a dime and went straight up and went up 150 something points or so. I mean, crazy, crazy stuff. Um, so will we get some follow through buying tomorrow? I don't know. I'm not sure if some kind of news came out. I never look at that kind of stuff, but usually they'll write some news to fit the price action, saying something the market liked and reversed. Maybe something. Who knows? There's no telling. But anyway, I'm going to flip over to the 2000 tick chart and we'll take a look at it and we'll go through the trades. And again, unfortunately, I'm going to move through them rather quickly. And here it is. We had some good shorts early on in the downtrend, and then we didn't get a lot of opportunity. There's a bunch of greens. What happened? These trends are so strong. The corrections are very small, and when you did get a correction back to the key entry point, you didn't get a lot of setups, and we only came back really one time. We wouldn't prices couldn't even get back to the main trend line, so that makes it a little harder to trade, a little riskier. But let's zoom in here. It looked like we were going to have a range early on. There was some high ticket news items here, so you couldn't start trading till just after 7:30. And there's just nothing in here. Let me zoom in some more so we can see this thing. It's just so much price action. But we're moving up here. I mark this as a possibility of green because it's just above the previous overnight high, and we're way away from the EMA. So you're overdue for a pullback to the EMA, but that's the first close outside, and something that strong will probably push to a new high. So you're taking a chance by going short there. I did mark it green. I talked about it a little more in the other video, but I'm not going to spend much time with it. I think it's risky. I probably wouldn't take it personally. But it is a second entry. There's a new low here, so first entry, second entry, it's a push above the previous overnight high. So prices will probably snap back some, just enough to get a scalp, even if it doesn't come back to the EMA. And that's pretty much what happened. You had just enough to get a scalp. And then it makes that little push higher to a new high and then reverses. And you never got a lower high to trade or anything like that. You get this trend down, you get a close outside, a first entry, and it pulls back in a second entry. Normally I'd tell you be careful with this, but there is enough room to get out to that double bottom. And this is not only a second entry short, you could call it a failed second entry long, which is kind of a reversal, which is what you're kind of looking for here. And you can see it's a nice move down. So I like that trade. And then we're coming down and we're just getting a range. That's just a range play off the top of a range and at the EMA as well. Big bearish bar. I like that. Just playing the range. We rally back, and it looks like what we do is we get a spike and channel down here. But you don't really get a setup there. You don't get one here either. Maybe you're saying, hey, there's a lower high that does confirm the trend line, but that looks too congested and it's right into the overnight lows. In fact, I talked about this too. I didn't have this marked originally. You might go long there because it is multiple tests of that low there. And we do have a break and a few swings to a new low, but it's a possibility there's another trend line there. You can say we probably confirmed it here, but you probably want to see one more touch, and it doesn't come till after this trade. So you're having to make this decision before you see this other bar. And so maybe you take that trade. And I didn't like taking this short because it's right into the support. And you can see it held for a little bit. before it went lower. I don't think you want to try to buy this failed breakout unless you had some kind of trap down here and you don't get that. And this just comes back. There is a hidden second entry, but there's no close outside this green channel. There's no, I think you need to wait and see if, hey, let's see if we get a lower high or something. And second entry short, we never get it. It just, prices just go lower. But you do get a second entry here right at the key entry point. Nice bearish bar. There's a lower high here. By the time it closes, it's really low, really close to the previous low. So and there's got a little stem. I still think that closes in the lower 1/3. But because this is such a small bar, maybe, and it breaks higher first, maybe you trade that on the engulfing bar. I mean, it's not ideal. And then this looks like a reversal, but again, you're going short into the lows. But this is a failure of a and this is what you call a failure with a continuation pattern. You got a big trend line. It's just continuing the trend there. So maybe you go short there. You make another new low and you get a first entry and then a second entry. Nice signal bar. It takes this one a minute to take off, but it does. Nothing else you can enter. You don't want to enter down here. You don't want to try to go long here. Like I said, just sit tight and you get this trend. And it can't even get back to the key entry point. It just turns down and that's too congested. Nothing there. And then we're working in another range. This is a little failed breakout. It is a second entry, and you don't have a lot going on the high side of here to really set this up yet. So it's two legs back in a downtrend. So the fact that it maybe is a failed breakout and a second entry and two legs back to the EMA, and we hadn't been able to get much past that height right there, maybe you take that one. It's not ideal, but there's some reasons to consider it. Nothing here. We drop down into this other range, and I don't see anything here you can trade either. You don't want to be thinking long yet, but this does set up into a long channel. But by the time you actually get a setup up here, you couldn't get back to the high, so there's a good chance you get a break here. I would at least wait on the second entry here, and you don't get it, and come down here and you get a close outside, a new low, and it reverses, and you get your two legs up, and you do make a new high, but this thing, you get a failure there, and this thing reverses and just takes off, and that is, you can see suddenly it's a super strong trend. They're running everybody's stops now. Everybody that was short, that got short all morning long, they're heading for the door. And they're trying to lock in some profit or get out before they take a loss. And so when you see a trend like this, this is a very strong, any signal bar that comes back to the key entry point that's a legit signal bar that qualifies for an entry, you might take those. This is more advanced. This is for more advanced traders that are moving on. This does, basic traders that are trying to learn this strategy and try to get profitable. Don't, if you're sim trading, by all means, sim trade them. But if you're trading live and you're trying to get profitable and just starting, don't take these trades. You need to know what you're doing. But you can tell these trends because the corrections are very shallow. They're just a bar or two, and they just keep going higher, and the channels are real tight like this. And that one still closes inside right at the key entry point, so I like it. Then you get a second entry here. You do get a close outside, but you got room to scalp out on a real strong trend. Probably want to take it. I mean, they're both, I marked them both green. They're not perfect ideal trades, but if you understand what's going on there, you probably want to take one or both of those. And then originally I'd read this as a spike and channel down, but it just reverses. And so after looking at it doing the last chart lesson when we're going over it, I think what happened here is you have a channel coming back, and it gets overdone. You get an overshoot here. All these people that were entering here started taking profits, and then a lot of them started thinking they were about to lose their shirt, and they just started exiting. And then all of a sudden that you run out of all those sales, and it reverses again, and the buying comes back, and here we go. We're off to the races again. This is, in my opinion, this is a total separate. This this one too are both total separate trends from this original agreement, because you had your break and 2 legs up, and then it just reverses and keeps going. So this is a separate trend. And then we got another separate trend that started up here. It's a spike in a new channel. So you might buy that, just, I mean, because it looks like it's overdone. It's very aggressive. So it's not something that I would recommend most people trying. But once you realize it's a strong, tight channel again, you know, any signal bar, and there's one, here's one, and again, this is a repeat pattern of over here. So you might even take that one. I don't know if there's enough room there to get out. This one's a little different than the other one, but you can see you got just enough to get out again, and that's generally the way it works out. So maybe you take it. You know, since it's a repeat pattern, and you really get 2 legs back, and there's a 2-legged correction in the middle, so that's like a second entry long. And it might be the center of a pattern before you get another one of these. And you get a high or low here. I like both of these. You might even say we get a reversal here, but it's not off the key entry point. So I just think you got to wait on that one, because you've already had the break of this green one and a new high, but then you get 2 legs and you get another 2 legs up. So it's kind of hard to know. We might be going to reverse there, but we don't. We just keep working higher and working sideways here. And you can see that trend channel line and the key entry point as well. There's a hidden second entry in there, which you're not really looking for that in a range. But we aren't thinking shorts here. I wouldn't take any shorts yet. I like going long there. If you had a good signal bar here, maybe, but you've also got to be concerned about the high of that range. But we've already pushed through it once, so there's a good chance we'll go right on back through it again. And again, we pull back here. Again, no shorts, but we pull back here again to the key entry point. But I just don't think that signal bar is good enough. I think you got to wait and look at it go. Boom, takes off. Again, there's your first signal bar, but it's not on the key entry point. You've already got to close outside, so and it doesn't have far to go to a new high. So I would sit tight on that one. You had to think the target was at least this open or close here, because those tend to be targets again during the day if you come back to them. And you actually make 2 legs up, and then you're working back down again. But don't try to go short until this trend line here is gone and is still in play. And you can see we get a close outside, and we can't even make a new low, and we're going higher, and we can't even get back to the trend line. So it's still strong. Notice how we shoot up here. You get a first entry, second entry. Normally I'd tell you don't take a second entry, but this is a strong trend, so maybe you take that one. You get another signal bar back to the key entry point here. Probably ought to take it. Look at it go. And then we get a break, and looks like we're going to come back to the trend line, and off it goes again. And you can see we're starting up a strong trend again. So any signal bar that comes back to the key entry point that's half decent, this one's close to being questionable, but I still think that close in the upper 1/3. Just go long there. And this runs all the way up to the high. Trend down, close outside, and we get them move to a new low. We make a double bottom right off the main key entry point. I like going long there. And now you got another big trend here. You got a signal bar there, but it's not very good. You got one here, but it's outside the trend line, so I just sit tight. I mean, it's your first one, but you could get another push down and get a second entry or something. And that pretty much took us into 230. And we look at just continues to have these strong trends until just at 3 o'clock when everybody exits, and then there's just nothing going on here. It's just noise before the market closes that last hour or so there. But crazy day. And I hate that I had to rush through that so fast, but I've already spent 30 minutes on this and now another 15 minutes. And I think you get the gist of it. big bearish day that just reverses. And like I said, I hadn't gone to look for any news or anything like that. And so there was something here. It's just medium with crude oil, so maybe something with oil was bullish. Who knows what it was? They'll come up with something. My belief is they write the news to fit the price action. So don't pay any attention. Don't try to trade the news, because even if you knew what it was ahead of time, you don't know how the market's going to react. So they'll make it up to fit it before the day's over. So, but just crazy reversal. I'm curious to know if there's something that was said or something that came out or something that happened positive that turned the market like that. But doesn't really matter. All we care is going up, and we want to go with it, or going down, and we want to go down with it. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow to wrap up our week. Again, I know I went through that quick, and I apologize, but I've just only got so much time to do these, and I screwed it up the first one because I didn't have any volume or sound. So it's really frustrating to have to do one again when you never put as much time into the second one, and I probably said some stuff that I would have liked to said in this one, but I just don't have time. So I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again tomorrow. Hope you had a good trading day. We'll see you tomorrow. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.